mo po sa palm oil. Also the price.
See, they have clothes.
Wow. That's crazy.
See, come on.
My favorite song. Ambil gitar, kamu mainkan. Come on, Lendron, sing.
Yan din naman.
Hello and welcome back. It has been so long since I've sat down and recorded anything. I did just check and my last podcast was on April 13th of last year. So it's been almost a year since I sat down, which is crazy. So this might feel a little bit weird. I have missed you guys. And I thought that I would sit down and do this, however imperfectly, especially because of everything that's going on right now. I know that I really enjoyed that some people who don't podcast as often have been coming in and recording stuff. So I thought that I would try it as well. So here I am. Yeah, oh, if you're new, my name is Becky. I am Sopranoknits on Instagram, where I'm most active, and also on Ravelry. I'm a knitwear designer, so you can find my patterns over there. And yeah, this podcast has been called the Stringing It Together podcast, but I think I'm gonna rename it just to the Sopranoknits podcast. I think it's just simpler. So welcome to the podcast. Yeah, I don't know. Should I introduce myself because it's been so long? Maybe. I mean, probably lots of you didn't even know that I had a podcast or who I am or what's going on. Let's see. Just briefly, I am American, as you might be able to hear, but I live in Germany, in Dortmund, Germany to be exact. And I moved over here because I'm an opera singer, and it's a lot easier to be an opera singer in Germany. So actually, with the current situation that's going on, I am working from home. And I know that pretty much no artists in any other country that I'm aware of are able to do that. So, of course, I have some anxiety that that situation could change. But for right now, I'm super grateful that I'm able to do that. And with that said, I'm just sending love out to all of you. I know that so many people are in so many different situations, and that no matter what, this is pretty intense for all of us. But some of you are essential workers and still working. Thank you. We appreciate you so much. It has become so abundantly clear who are the real heroes in society and who we really need. Yeah, and a lot of you, I'm sure, are working from home or maybe not working at all. And yeah, it's an intense time. I don't need to tell you that. But just know that I am sending all of you love. That sounds kind of not good enough, but what else could we do right now, right? So yeah, that's who I am. Like I said, I am a knitwear designer, and I really like to knit and do crafty things. I also sew to a lesser standard, but I am having fun exploring that, although I have not been sewing very much lately. And yeah, some other crafty goodness going on. So that's pretty much my story. Okay. Sorry guys, this is so weird. I haven't done this in so long. I feel crazy talking to myself, and I hope this autofocus is okay and not annoying. Since I recorded last, I have some new camera lenses, and this one I think will be way better than my other one. My other one was like old, and this one is supposed to be like a silent motor, but I know it's not completely silent. So bear with me as I basically test this out, and if it's annoying, I'll come up with another solution. Woo! Okay, so as far as like announcements go, I guess I just want to mention that I'm still doing a knit along for my cardigan pattern, the Telegram, or Telegram with some accents and two N's because it's French. And I have it with me, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that this is the sweater. And the main feature, it is a broken rib, raglan, top down, V-neck. Oh my god, the autofocus, I'm sorry. Okay. And then it has this cable pattern underneath the arms. So it's on the sleeve and also on the side. Yeah, this autofocus is kind of annoying, right? Focus on me. The problem is it's too far away to like... Okay, I hope that works. Because it was just really adjusting a lot. Anyway, it has this nice cable everywhere. So I had said that I was going to stop the knit along in mid-March, but I've just decided to keep it going because we need some happiness happening. And if you want to partake in that, I want to know what the prizes are. I did put them in my Ravelry group, which is linked below. You can post in the Ravelry group your progress, or you can hashtag on Instagram, Telecom call. I made it weird in an accent. Yeah, so if you want to join us, please do. It is a size inclusive pattern. It has 12 sizes, I think. 10, 12? I don't remember. I think 12, maybe 10. It has a lot of sizes though. I think the finished size, it should have some positive ease. It's like 72 inches or something like that. So plenty of sizes, and it's a pay what works pattern. So don't be freaked out. I'll link it below, but don't be freaked out if you go there and you see that it's 15 euros. There are several different options if that is too much for you right now. And also if you're dealing with losing your income due to the state of the world and you would like to knit it, just send me a message. It's gonna be okay. If you want to knit one of my patterns, I'm happy to have you knit it. If that's what's gonna make you happy right now, that's cool with me. So yeah, that's the deal with that. Yeah, and like I'm not gonna run through all of the patterns I've designed in the past year. That would be kind of crazy. But the other kind of recent release that came out was my Florea mittens pattern. This was originally published in Lina magazine, and it has been re-released as a individual pattern. So they are very cute. And they're good for spring. They're knit in fingering weight yarn. These are in Tuco wool. Sock? Yes, sock, not the fingering. But you could also knit them just in the fingering weight. I mean, they're both fingering weights, and then they have little flowers on them, and they're cute, and yeah. So that is all for that. Stuff that I've been working on lately are several. I feel so awkward right now. Okay, I hope this is coming across, and maybe I shouldn't say it, but it's how I feel. I'm drinking lemon water because hydration is good. So if you're watching this and you haven't had enough water today, drink up. Pause this and go get a glass of water and then drink it. Okay, so I finished 2 projects recently. They're both new designs. They're not quite ready to be test knit yet, but soon, soon, soon. If you like either of them, you can sign up for my newsletter, which is also linked below. I don't write very many newsletters, but I do have a separate list, and you can, when you sign up, you can check a little box saying that you want to get test knitting calls, and that's where I do them. I don't do them on Instagram, I don't do them on Ravelry. It's like too messy for me. This I found is the easiest way. So I just send out an email with the details. If you're interested, you can fill out a Google form, answering some questions like what size you want to knit, what yarn you want to use, yada yada. And if not, then you just ignore the email and wait for the next one. So the first thing that I have going on is a sweater. Woohoo! So this is a fingering weight sweater. It is again in broken rib because I'm obsessed with broken rib. But it is a pullover. It is a drop shoulder, as you can probably see. And yeah, it has a crew neck. This is just to show me which side is the back. I left a little tail on. It's a crew neck. It has some positive ease, so it's really like nice and drapey. It has bigger sleeves, like with more positive ease, and then a rapid decrease at the bottom. So it's not like a really big balloon sleeve, but it's just kind of nice, like a sweatshirt kind of feel. And it has a split hem. I really like it. I've been wearing it so much, which I should probably stop doing because I still have to take photos of it. But what's cool is I knit it out of Holst Super Soft yarn. I know I have some in here. I have quite a bit of it actually. It's Holst Garn is the, will that focus? I don't know. See, now I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it. Well, I can tap it, but I'm just afraid that I won't be able to get it back in my face. Focus on me. Or not on me, on this. Is it working? It's not working. Okay. It's Holst Garn, okay? I'll put it on the screen. And it's super soft. It This yarn is crazy, you guys. It's from a Danish company and it's very inexpensive. And they have it in like 120 colors, I wanna say. This is the indigo color that I knitted in. And it's just amazing. It's 50 grams. And the yardage that you get out of that is like absolutely bonkers. It's 287 meters or 314 yards out of 50 grams. That's a lot. And it goes really far. So I knit the second size, which ends up being like a 36-inch finished bust. Although I have washed mine a couple times and it did relax a bit more. Which I really like actually, but this sweater, and it's cropped, as you can see, but still, this sweater weighs 175 grams. It's completely nutso. And every ball of this costs, I think it's under 3 euros. Yeah, there are some other places in Europe that sell it. I'm not sure about the US if anyone carries this yarn. I have not checked. You can order it though. I'm pretty sure they do international shipping and it might be worth it. You would have to wait a while, but it's so affordable. So I did the calculations for how much yarn. I think the top size has a finished bust of like 74 inches and I did the math and the yarn for that would cost under 30 euros because they also sell it in 500 gram cones. So, and those are I think like 25 or something. It's completely insane in a good way. However, it is very thin and it has a lot of spinning oil in it still and extra dye. They don't do a lot of like processing. I'm trying to find the edge to show you and I can't find it. But it really softens and blooms when you wash it. And next time I knit with it, I was thinking about like experimenting with scanning it up and washing it first and then recaking it and then knitting with it. It wasn't horrible to knit with by any means, but it is not the softest and not like, it just looks very open until you wash it. But you can wash it, they actually recommend that you wash it in the machine. So that's what I did. I mean, I washed it on cold, on the wool cycle, but yeah, it really softens up. Isn't this color so nice? I never knit with blue. I never go toward blue, but I really like it. And I think it's a nice color on me, which is good because it's my sweater. But anyway, if blue isn't your thing, like I said, they have 120 colors. So I'm really excited that it's gonna be an affordable sweater. Also, my friend Morgan of Knitcraft and Knittery, hi Morgan, they are knitting a sample for me now. She started knitting it just from like my pattern notes as I was writing them, which was very trusting. And yeah, they're also we're gonna figure out how much of that yarn you would need because that's in the merino, the like delicious merino yarn. Sustainable Australian merino, I think is what it's called, the 4-ply yarn. So that's another option. It is more expensive, but Morgan also has programs set up for test knitting. They have sweater discounts, and there's also a testing program that I'm going to get into, so that's really exciting. Yeah, so that's that design. Keep your eyes peeled. We are figuring out some issues right now with my editor, which is actually like really interesting and I'm learning a lot. Yeah, creating size inclusive patterns that like really fit the same across all sizes is definitely a challenge, but I think it's like really cool to like try to crack it and figure out like how can I possibly make this work, because it is not always that simple. Like a lot of the math is pretty simple, but there's certain things like what we're dealing with now is the shoulder length. If you look at a sizing chart, like Isolde has a free sizing chart, for example. She has a bust size range that ranges 30 inches, so from 30 to 60 inches. The shoulder length measurement changes a little bit over an inch from the smallest to the largest size, which is not so. And in a drop shoulder cardigan, your shoulder stitch width is going to be half of your bust. just the way that the construction works. But the problem with that, obviously, is that across all sizes, that's going to create like a much different drop of how much it drops off your shoulders. So we are playing with this issue and how we can make it like proportionate to be like proportionally basically the same between all sizes. So it's not like some people have the shoulder line coming here and some people have it here. And also that creates more bulk. Like, yeah, this is a drop shoulder shirt, so this is good. There should be some ease and bulk here, but not like so much. So that's what we're working out right now. So obviously all that has to happen before I can ask for test knitters, but that will be happening soon. I would hope in the next week. The other thing that I did was I designed and knit a pair of slippers. And I need to reblock them. One of them I blocked before I did the stitching, the other one I didn't, but then I did the stitching around the border. So this is them. And okay, I will get up and kind of show you. I think if I turn this on again, it will, yeah. So more caliper cables. If you've been following me for a while, I really love this stitch pattern of doing these cables. They are very, very simple, and I do have a video tutorial, so that will be easy. But yeah, these also have a super interesting construction that I made up, and I'm really proud of it. And then I did this stitching, come on, focus. I did this stitching around the edge. So that's what I need to reblock, just because I want it to pin it like flat because it's kind of rolling right now. But yeah, they are cool because they're not knit in pieces, they're knit in one piece. Now do I have to turn this off? Wait. Oh no. Okay. They're knit in one piece because I've knit a couple slippers before, and a lot of times you have to knit the sole and then pick up these stitches. I'm like, I'm lazy. I didn't really want to do that. So I knit them seamlessly. I have another slipper pattern that's just in a publication right now. And that's when I kind of came up with this, but these I had to adjust it a bit for the direction of the cables that I wanted to have. Now it's not focused on my face. I'm just gonna turn it back on. We'll see how it goes. So I actually had to cast on here, knit down, and then knit the rest of it. But it was fine, I just did a provisional cast on. And then, I'm not gonna give away my secrets, but the way that this heel is constructed makes me extremely happy. I really like them. And I really needed them. I know it's gonna be like spring, or it is spring, but yeah, slippers are awesome. They knit up so fast, so they would make really good gifts. And I made these, I wear size 8.5, 9 US shoes, or European 39, 40. And I made these with under 50 grams of DK weight yarn because I had this beautiful skein of this mustardy yarn from Obis Etc. And this is how much I have left. I just finished the stitching last night, so I didn't weigh it, but I mean, that's not a lot of yarn. So I was pretty proud that I eked these out. So it could be a good way to use up scraps from other projects. You could even do the stitching in another color. I mean, you could just like change colors halfway through. You could do whatever you want. So I need to work on writing up that pattern. It's not gonna take me that long. I just have to sit down and do it, but I'm kind of prioritizing the sweater right now. So yes. So that is it for that. And then I only have one work in progress right now, and it is another sweater design. So I'm excited about this. It's probably not gonna look like much right now. I had to rip out some stuff this morning because I made a whoopsie daisy while I was drinking wine and having a Skype conversation with someone the other night. Messed up my own pattern. So it is another bottom up. It's gonna be another drop shoulder. So it's also good that I'm figuring out this drop shoulder issue before I get there. And it is another mustardy pattern. And this is in, I have more of this, Derero Natura Gilead. This guy. It is a French company, and it is a really lovely merino. It's also pretty affordable. And this is in the Doré colorway, which is gold. So yeah, but it is a really beautiful color. And I'm doing this like textured, cool design on it. So on the front, it's just gonna be on the sides. And then I'm hoping to make it fade out at some point. And then on the back, it's all over. But it's a pretty big pattern. And here, I can show you my swatch and then you can see it better. I did a pretty big swatch for this just because I wanted to see how it would look. So, and it also has some yarn overs, so it's not very lacy, but you can see the light does come through it. But yeah, it's mainly texture and some very simple cables. It's really simple to do, I swear. It is memorizable because you can just read your stitches, and I'm planning to do a video on like showing you how to do that if it's something that maybe you haven't done before, you haven't worked from any charts before. I also will have written instructions, of course, for the stitch pattern, but yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I just want to keep working on it, and the yarn is like so delicious and yummy to work with that I'm really enjoying the knit. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It is kind of funny though that the stitch pattern, I made it myself. Sometimes you get stitch patterns from like books or online or something like that. Like you can just find like the stitches and then incorporate them into a design. But a colleague of mine, I'll try to find the picture and put it in here. A colleague of mine was wearing the sweater at rehearsal and I like couldn't stop staring at it. And funnily enough, it's the same color. That wasn't really on purpose. This was just the only yarn that I had a sweater's quantity in my stash. And I just looked at it and I thought it was really cool and I wanted to try to recreate it. Her sweater is machine knit and made from super thin thread, so of course it's going to be different, but I also modified the stitch pattern, and then obviously it's on a much bigger scale, but that was my inspiration, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm also using it in a different way on the pattern. I'm not going to have it on the sleeves, I don't think. And yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the neckline. I'm kind of thinking about doing like a boat neck, not like super wide, but like a boatier neck, and then having it be technically reversible, because maybe it would also be cool to wear it with like the big pattern on the front and like less pattern on the back. I don't know. We're thinking about it. But I did, what else can I say? I don't know. I did a split hem on it as well. I'm into split hems. It's going to be kind of oversized and cropped again because that's what I like to do. But at the same time, it's like use the amount of ease that you like in your pattern. So, and you can always add or subtract length. That is very easy to do. So yeah, but that's the only thing that I'm currently working on. Although I am really thinking about casting on a hat. Just like a really simple hat and writing it up as a free pattern. And then I'm also thinking about doing a video series with it, just really walking you through every single step of the hat. It will be pretty simple, but for some people it might have techniques that they haven't used before, or if it's a new knitter, they might feel kind of like nervous about it. And I was thinking that especially at this time when people can't go to in-person classes and they can't like go to their yarn store and get help, that it might be kind of an interesting model to have like the written pattern completely as normal if that's what you want to work from, but then to also have kind of like a sew along, if any of you sew, that some people will do like a series of videos, a series of blog posts with just photos or something, kind of walking you through every step of the way so that you learn some new techniques, then that you feel confident in what you're doing. And I, as like a newer sewer that I'm not very confident, have found that super helpful, but I don't see that many people doing it with knitting. So I thought that that would be really interesting. So I just, before I started filming, dove into my stash to see what I had, and I'm thinking about doing it in like a DK weight, and I actually don't have that much yarn. Although I could do a marled version and hold two fingering weight yarns together, who knows. But I found more mustard, so I could use that maybe. This is Ull Centrum, it's a Swedish yarn, and it's really nice. It's kind of like heathered and has like a really nice halo. I don't know if you can see, but it's really beautiful. And then I also have this from Yeah, the little gray sheep, although I think they're just called the Gray Sheep Co. now. But I also just knit, this is in their Stein, what is it called? Stein Fine Wool. Oh, it's so good. And I really do want a hat in this because I just knit my Alex hat, which is another new pattern that I didn't mention, but I don't have the sample because I gave it to my friend Alex. And I can knit a hat in this, and it's so soft and so nice. I probably won't need it this year. I have another skein of their yarn, which I thought about making my own Alex hat and holding these together because I do think that these colors like go are pretty cool together. But I'm also not sure that like I would wear it with these two colors. I don't know, maybe I would. I don't know what to do with my life. But this is 50 grams. It might be too little for the hat that I want to make. Anyway, I don't know. I have decisions to make, but that is what I'm thinking about in that realm. So that is it for knitting. That was kind of a lot though. But other than that, I don't really have any sewing finished objects like that are super recent. I did sew this. I'm not gonna plug the pattern because it's like really not size inclusive, unfortunately. This is a problem in the sewing world, like a really big problem. It's also a problem in the knitting world. But I think that like I'm seeing a lot of change and movement towards size inclusivity. But I'm not really seeing that same thing in the sewing world, which I kind of just want to call bullshit on because I'm sorry. I don't know that much about sewing. I've never made a sewing pattern, but from what I know about grading and from what I can like see the difference between sewing and knitting patterns, it is way harder and takes way more time to grade grade knitting patterns to be more size inclusive, and then also like to get them tested because it takes so much longer to knit obviously a larger sweater than to sew, like if you sew something larger, it like literally makes no difference. So anyway, I'm very annoyed that I've written to a lot of companies and just stopped recording for some reason. I was just saying, I'm very annoyed that I've written to a lot of companies and they are saying like, oh yeah, it's something we're looking into, we're gonna do it in the future. And I'm like, it does take time, of course. And of course you wanna do it in a good way and you want to educate yourself about like body proportions and body size and how to do it, but I'm still really disappointed that it's taking so long and that I don't see like the fire being lit under people's asses to do it. Anyway, especially, sorry, I'm not done with my rant, because sewing patterns are so much more expensive than knitting patterns. So much more expensive. I just bought a couple patterns the other day and pretty much all of them were like 16 to 20 US dollars before tax. I'm happy to pay that for a good pattern, but for some reason people aren't happy to pay that for a knitting pattern. So my sweater pattern, for example, I have the main price at 15 euros and I've gotten like some really rude messages about how dare I charge that much for my work. And I'm like, this took hundreds of hours and like and months and months and months. And I'm like, 15 euros is not that much, especially when you compare it to sewing patterns. It's just bizarre to me. Anyway, that's my rant. But I have quite a lot of sewing plans kicking around in my head, and not a whole lot of confidence that I'm going to like start any of them anytime soon. I don't know what it is about my sewing mojo that just isn't there, but I really do really want to start this project before it gets too warm to wear it. Is that I'm going to sew kind of like a coat jacket. So I got this, it's 100% wool, and I just got it at a local fabric store that I think they were starting to clear out their winter stock, so it was on sale. Pure wool is still expensive in fabric form. I can't remember how much I paid, but I think it might have been only 20 euros a meter, which is like pretty cheap. So it's so nice, isn't it? This color and the light is really good in here right now. Although my apartment always gets beautiful light, I'm so lucky. That it's rust, it's like this nice rust color. And then I'm going to line it with, I got this really nice Japanese cotton that is navy with kind of these little like hashtags, although I think of them more as sharps in music, of course, but I just think it's a nice, they'll look really nice together. And I'm going to make the Wixton Haori pattern, which is not intended to be like a coat, but I'm going to make it into one. A couple other people have done this, so it's not an original idea. I'm also going to try to make the pockets like slanted, because I also saw a couple of people did that, and I think that will look nicer, especially in like such a heavy fabric. So the one thing I'm thinking of is I'm gonna have to figure out some way to do a closure, because I know I just won't want it like flopping open. That wouldn't be very warm. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna try to put some buttons on or some ties, or I mean, I could make like a belt after the fact, but I don't really love that look. So that's the one thing I haven't figured out yet. But I also have to get the pattern printed. I was gonna just do it at home, and then I looked at the PDF and saw it was 40 pages, and I was like, oh God. So I think I'm just gonna buy some more patterns that I want to work on and get them printed. I did go online and I saw that the company where I usually get my A0 patterns printed seems to still be working, and they're assuring people that, you know, it's a small group there, and that they're like taking good measures to protect themselves and each other. And yeah, I mean, honestly though, at the moment I have a lot of qualms about like ordering anything, unless it's something that like I could call like a local store and like go pick up and really help a store that like has no other income. But I'm definitely not getting on Amazon or anything like that, because I don't trust them to take care of their employees, to be quite honest. Yeah, crazy times. Oh, this was not on my list, but one sewing thing actually that I did do recently that I will share with you, because I see it sitting here, is, this was unplanned, so sorry, this is cat hair all over it, but my range backpack, which, oh, I don't think I ever shared that on this podcast. I won't go super in depth, but if anyone wants me to do a little video on it, I could. Although I sewed it so long ago, I'm not real sure that I remember. But this is my range backpack, and which is a pattern by, I forgot, but I'll put it on the screen. And I made several adjustments to it. I made it wider and taller and did some things. But I did a strap replacement, and I just wanted to mention it because I like performed surgery to take the straps out, and if anyone is interested in doing something like this, I just want to give you my advice now. The pattern offers a couple of different options, I think, but the main one is to make your straps out of the fabric. I used Merchant & Mill's dry oilskin, which I cannot recommend highly enough for this. It is a natural, biodegradable, waterproof fabric. Sorry, the autofocus is going really nuts right now. And it's definitely an investment, but oh my gosh, like this backpack is gonna last me my entire life, and I love it so much, which is also why I went through the trouble of like changing what I wanted to change about it, even though it was real tough. But basically those straps were really like floppy. I should have taken more photos of this or video, but I didn't. Although I do have the straps still, so maybe I can insert a little clip here of just that they were like bunching up and folding, and it wasn't very comfortable, and I really hated how it looked. So I used that on the top half, and then on the bottom half, because I have this little like adjuster here, I had put webbing, but it was nylon webbing, and it was starting to like wear down and like slip out. Also at one point it completely ripped out of here. It just wasn't holding up basically. So I ended up getting this thick cotton webbing instead, and then I also got these like little belt things to go on the end of it that matched all my other bronze hardware. They are so much better. So much better. yeah, they're just really sturdy. I can't adjust them as easily, although maybe when I wear them more, like it'll be easier to slide them. But it's also okay because the problem I was having towards the end of the life of my other straps was that it was like completely slipping out when the backpack was full and heavy, and I use it every day. I'm riding my bike with it, I'm going grocery shopping with it because I don't have a car here, and like I couldn't have that happen. And also, since I made it taller, I made this loop longer because when it was really full, I couldn't extend it. But anyway, there are a lot of adjustments I made to this backpack. Like, she doesn't have this hook in the pattern. There's no zipper at the top in the pattern. I added that. I added extra reinforcement stitching like everywhere. Like, I don't think she tells you to do this like X stitching. It's black, I don't know if you can even see this. There. I don't think she tells you to do that. It does attract cat hair though, so if you have pets, maybe get a lighter color. I use this really, okay, now I'm just talking about the backpack, but I love it so much. I love that I use this cork too. It tells you to use leather, but I used cork. So awesome. And then I use this cotton, this woven cotton, like awesome fabric. It also, I think, probably has some like burlap, like type of stuff in it. It's so pretty. And then I made my own padded laptop case with some scrap fabric that I had on the inside here, because if I had used this, it's just like too thick. My machine couldn't do it. And then I interfaced it with some like really thick interfacing. I love it so much, if you can't tell. Yeah, like I said, I use it every day, and it's like the thing I'm most proud of making sewing wise ever, for sure. The good thing about doing it in black is that you can't see mistakes, or like the unpicking that I had to do and resew for the straps. Like, you're never gonna notice that, but I do love it. Okay, so I talked about it. That's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, I also like want to do some punch needling during this time. I'm waiting for my new punch needle to come. I ordered a second one because I have one and it's like very thin, and I ordered a bunch of burlap because I wanted to try punch needling into burlap because it's like the most affordable fabric, but I want to use, I don't know, like create some usable things, and then also just like some like art pieces, I guess, just for fun. Like this is one I did in a scrap of linen and an embroidery hoop with just some scrap yarn. I just like improvised and made a thing, but I think it looks cool. But the embroidery hoop is kind of tough because it will slip out of these. They do have no slip hoops that you can get, but they're plastic. So what I ended up doing was ordering a bunch of canvas stretcher bars. I haven't put any of them together yet, so you can't really see them, but you can get these like at art stores. I had to order them because I went to like local art stores and couldn't find them. But yeah, you like hammer them together and then it creates a frame, and then I got a staple gun and you like stretch your fabric around it and you staple it, and then it, because you need a really taut fabric to punch through. So yeah, but the weave on the burlap is too wide for the other punch needle that I have, so that's why I'm waiting for the new one to like get into that. But that was one of my things that I decided to do during this time where I have a lot of time alone. Yeah, so also sending love to all of you that live alone and are going a little nuts because you can't hang out with anyone. We are going on, yeah, I guess it's been like 12 days of that for me. But honestly, I'm doing okay. I have good days and bad days. On the bad days, I don't get that much done, and I feel kind of anxious about everything, which I think is very normal. But I have been going on bike rides every day, and a lot of them like pretty long bike rides. And I've been exploring the city. It really helps that it's been really sunny and nice. And I am like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just like learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about myself, and I'm learning a lot about the environment, and I don't know. I'm just trying to enjoy that. That's keeping me sane. I have like some other little projects that I'm trying to focus on, but I'm trying not to be so focused on like being productive or like, oh, I'm gonna get all this stuff done like during this time. Like I just want to get through this time. And yeah, I think when you deal with mental health, as I do, mainly with anxiety, that it's just kind of like keeping myself going, and that I've been doing an okay job at that. But it has really helped to stay connected to other people. I've been calling or Skyping someone every single day, and there's been like good community type stuff happening on Instagram and whatever. And like I said, I've enjoyed the podcast that I've seen randomly pop up. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. I think I talked a lot more than I expected to, but them's the breaks. I hope that you got some crafting done and that maybe it brought a little bit of joy or inspiration for something you want to work on. I have no idea. But anyway, I'm really happy if you're still here listening to me ramble, that you spent this time with me. And come follow me over on Instagram if you want to, and feel free to subscribe here to be caught up with other videos that I do, because I don't have a regular schedule, so that's probably the easiest thing. It'll just show up in your subscriptions feed if you do that. So again, thank you so much. Sending you lots of love wherever you are, and I hope that you can find a little bit of joy and peace in your day. And remember to drink lots of water. Okay, I'm so silly. Okay, thank you guys so much again, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!